What's up YouTube? My name is Berke. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I appreciate it. Today we are shooting two Porsches, not just one feature film or one car. It's two cars for this episode. Super excited to share this one because it's been long overdue. One of my good friends, he owns these cars, and I think it's going to be a really good story and also featuring some really cool cars. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, photography is not permitted on around property unless you have.
We just got kicked out of that spot over in Newport, of course. That's how it goes. This is what happens sometimes when you're filming. You get kicked out of spots. That's just how it goes. We're gonna go find another spot and try this again.
Hey guys, I'm Phat, and these are my Caymans. This is a 2014, 2007. And yeah, I've had this car for maybe 7 to 8 years.
So this was your first Porsche that you bought?
This was my first one ever. I sold a 93 RX-7 to buy it. I just wanted something reliable I could take to the track. And this is my 2014. I bought this car maybe 2 years ago, and this is more like my street car now.
So this one, when you first got it, did you initially have plans to go this far with the build?
No. As you can see, like I'm like very into the stance scene. So like I just wanted a car that sounded good, that I lowered, put big wheels, stretched tires, all that stuff. And so when I bought this car, it was bone stock. I think I said in the podcast before, when I picked it up, the guy had seat covers that were
so it was like
3 inches
brand
thick.
New.
It was brand new. I flew all the way up to San Francisco because we're here in Orange County to go look at it, to buy it. And when we pulled up, before I even got out of the car, I was like, this is it.
This was your first Porsche ever, right?
Yeah.
What suspension are you on?
So right now, it is on CKS coilovers.
What wheels are these?
These are Kansai wheels.
And then how about the tire?
The tires are Federal RS Pros. So I wanted something that was like 200 tread wear, because I'm still learning a lot about tracking the car. So I wanted something that was cost effective and that was pretty sticky and like would last a long. So the Federal RS Pros they're pretty good. There's other tires you can get that might perform better, but like you're not going to learn as much.
What size tires are these?
These are 18, so this is a 245 in the front, and I'm running a 275 in the rear.
Okay, and how about the brake setup?
The brakes are, so the pads are EBC's new RPX pads, and these things are amazing.
You like these?
On the track. I've had several like different companies for brake pads. These RPX ones are just on the number.
So looking at this car, obviously you've done a lot cosmetically. What's the body kit? How does that work?
Front lip is a Joe Toff front splitter, and then these are actually 997 Cup fender flares off like the Porsche Cup cars, and then these are custom-made side skirt to fit over the rear flare from Precision Porsche.
Okay, and how about the wing too?
So the wing this is actually a wing off the 997 Cup car. This is a full like carbon wing. It weighs like a pound. It's off of 0.2, so they're 67 inches wide. Because I think a 0.1 is only 57 inches.
So you had to custom fit this, right?
Yeah, so I custom made these uprights. So I actually designed these. A few cars are running them now. And then this is a Precision Porsche wing base. So to actually fit this wing on here, I had to design a spacer. So I 3D printed this to get the wing to fit.
So some of the stuff on here you designed yourself?
Some stuff.
As far as building this car, you have a lot more involvement compared to just buying parts. You actually saw some stuff that you could improve on.
Yeah.
Like, how's that work?
Well, because I think I've just been like building cars for a long time. Well, that RX-7 I had for 10 years, and I had to like learn how to basically build the motor. Because you don't know how to build the motor, you're going to go through a lot of motors. It's going to get really expensive.
Yeah.
So I had to learn. I built turbo kits for that thing. Like I did 3 different turbo setups. Just like constantly learning. That kind of translated into this car where I didn't want to focus so much on doing motor work and making power. It's more just like making it look how I want because some parts weren't available. To run this wing, whatever's out there right now, I don't think looks that great. So I think like my design is better.
How about the engine? What do you have done to it?
So this car is full bolt-on, running like a Schnell intake, a IPV plenum, competition plenum with the GT3 throttle body, BBI pulley, and then it's running Soul Performance catless headers, and I'm straight piped out the back. And it's running HD tuning too.
This thing is crazy loud.
It's crazy loud. So the car made 297 wheel with before I did the headers.
Do you know how much your car weighs?
I think as it sits, it's probably close to 20, maybe 28. So the car comes factory like 29.5, and I've stripped out pretty much everything from the carpet other than the door panels and clear back. And then when you remove the exhaust and stuff, you save a lot of weight. And
Gotcha.
the stock seats are heavy.
What seats do you have in here?
These are O&P. So my interior is all O&P. Roll cage is made by Hygo. So it's just a bolt-in cage with a crossbar in the back.
And then the steering wheel?
Steering wheel is also O&P.
And then the main piece of jewelry in the car is that shifter.
The CAE shifter.
How do you like that?
I love that. That totally changes how driving a manual car.
Did you ever track this car without the CAE shifter?
I did.
How was that?
I feel like when you get used to driving manual, it didn't feel bad tracking the car. But then once you drive with the shifter, you're like, there's no going back.
You're almost spoiled. You can't go back.
Like literally you take your hand off the wheel for a second just to touch gears, you know?
What made you go with the CAE?
I mean, at first, like you said, it's a piece of jewelry. It just looks so badass. And because it looks like a sequential shifter, like after driving with it, I could see why people would spend the money for it.
Do you have sway bars on this car?
I don't have some.
Okay, what else to the suspension do you have done to it?
This car doesn't need a whole lot. A lot of people like buy all these like crazy arms, toe arms, camber arms, all this stuff, and it's like I lowered the car to where I wanted it, and I adjusted the camber and the toes right, everything's within spec, so like I don't see what's the point of buying extra arms. I feel like a lot of people spend money on things that like you don't really need. You really start driving the car, you start to realize like what are the important things.
All the stickers and the design, you did it all yourself, right?
Yeah, so I mean like my other buddy had a black GT3 with the stripe. So his stripes were white and red. So since my car was white, I was like, oh, I'll do the same thing but with black and red. And then I put the stripe on, and then I was like, oh man, I love this thing. It looks so sick.
And you laid these down yourself?
Yeah, all of them. I actually did like all this without a heat gun. Surprisingly, I don't really have much experience doing stickers, but I had my friend at All Stickers cut them, and I just started placing them on, and then after you place a couple on, you're just like, look like the race cars.
What track do you go to mostly?
Just Buttonwillow, because you know, it's the safest track. Me and my friends have talked about it. It seems like Buttonwillow might be the benchmark today, like as far as a track in California goes. I mean, other than like Big Willow, which like all the big companies use, but like for local track guys, Buttonwillow is like, that's like, oh, like what time do you run before after 2 minutes?
What's your best time at Buttonwillow in this car?
Right now it's 2:07. So I've only been out 4 times.
Any coaching or anything like that?
No, I've had maybe 1 or 2 friends. My friend Matt Lahana, he's ridden along and just been like gas it here, brake here, like where he's like slow down hard for this one or whatever. At first it was a stance car, right? And the car sat for a long time. But it was like, what do I do with the car now? I was getting kind of bored of it. So I bought a turbo kit for it, which I never installed. And then I was like, you know what? I just wanted to track it. So my friend's like, let's go. I was like, all right, fine. I signed up. I went out like in a stance car. It was on 19s. It was on street tires. Like my brakes weren't all done. All I had were pads in there. And then I was like, I'm just gonna see what this thing does. And then we went out. I had like the most fun I've ever had in the car. I just became addicted. So then from there, I started doing like all this stuff. This car used to basically be this car.
So then let's talk about that. So once you built this car into a full track machine, how did this car come into the picture?
So after I made this car like extremely crazy loud and like just, it's like when you strip the interior, you start hearing noises. It just becomes uncomfortable. It's fun for the track because it's like very raw, but it becomes uncomfortable. So then I was like, I need something for the street, which is why I bought this 2014 one with a PDK. And so I wanted like something comfortable, it's automatic, and like I still have the paddle shifters, and like, so this car I'm trying not to go as crazy.
You might end up going that far though, it feels like, because you keep going
If I get a new one, yeah, because like, I think one of the things I dislike the most is like having like a cage and a wing. It makes it hard to, I feel like the Caymans a really good platform because the car's so good that you could afford 2 for the price of like one 911. It's a Cayman S as well. So they're both Cayman S's. They're both white, they're both black interior. And I have a GT4 front bumper on there.
Was this direct bolt up, or you have to do any cutting or anything?
No, it's pretty much bolt on.
And then you color match the lip, right?
Yeah, I color matched the lip because I didn't want it to look exactly like a GT4. It's just that I like the way the GT4 bumper looked, but I didn't want to copy it and have people be like, oh, it's a GT4. Clear side markers. The headlights come smoked, I believe, on the GTS. And then I left the vent. I did do a GT4 vent on this one. And then I did a GT4 wing and a GT4 diffuser. So like this little lip wing is on the trunk of the GT4. It just doesn't go up anymore. But then the GT4 has a wing on top as well.
What exhaust are you on?
So this is the full Soul Performance competition system, which is their catless headers and their valve exhaust system. And then this car also has the same HD tuning tune. Well, it's not the same tune, the same company. And then it has intakes and then same IPV plenum. So pretty much both these cars, I wanted to extract as much power as I could because NA cars, like, they don't have a lot that you can gain. So I'm gonna do everything I can to gain as much power as I can squeeze out of it.
What motor's in this car?
They're both 3.4 liter S's.
So you really have to squeeze a lot out
You
of
have
them.
to, like, whatever I can. Even if it was like 5 horsepower, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the combination of all of them. I wanted it to be like a street car, so it's like very sleek. I didn't do the vents because I feel like more exotic cars have just a vent open.
What suspension are you on?
This is on BC Racing.
These wheels, what are these?
So these are Ford Star F14 super deep concave wheels. To get the super deep in the front, you have to go with a 9.5, which is almost unheard of on stock body like Porsches. Like usually if you look up wheels, everyone sells 8.5 and 9s, and maybe only the turbo guys run 9.5. Even then, they do 9 for some weird reason. Like Porsche guys just stay away from 9.5. Like when I ordered these wheels, the wheel company was like, "That's not gonna fit." And I'm like,
"You're gonna make it work."
Yeah, the owner was like, "It's fat, he'll make it work." So then, to make it work, I had to stretch the tires, and I had to max out the camber all the way, so I'm running close to 5 degrees. And then that's the only way to get the fenders to clear.
So you're running -5 up front.
Almost. It's like
Jeez.
4 point something.
Do you know what size tires they are?
It's 220, 235, and 265 in the rear. You know, honestly, it looks good. I still take this car to the canyons. It doesn't rub in the front.
What brakes do you have on it?
This is also running EBC pads, but these are just the yellow stuff, which is more their street pad and performance pad. So you could take it to the track, but it's more just for like street and canyon. So it works perfect. Because I don't like to leave cars stock. It just makes it feel like the car's not yours. I had all these parts sitting in my living room, painted, ready to go before the car even arrived.
So you had a bunch of mods before you even got the car.
Yeah. I was like, why wait?
The difference between manual and PDK. How do you like that transmission?
Oh my God, it's amazing.
If anyone wants to find you on social media, where can they find you?
Phatty, PHAT_EE. You put it.
I'll put it right here.
Does that work?
Yeah, I'll put it right here. Wherever you want.
I own a meal prep company, and they're very delicious, and they're more geared for people trying to lose weight, or just like sometimes it's just more like for the convenience factor.
Have you delivered meals in both these cars?
I have delivered meals in both these cars. Yeah.
That's
Speedy
pretty
delivery,
cool.
express checkout.
Well, thank you again for doing this. you.